I'm not a fan of the police at all, and here's why. You have police departments across this country wherein police officers are hitmen, rapists, drug dealers, thieves, everything under the sun. However, you can hear police officers talk passionately about chasing somebody down to give them a ticket in the carpool lane because they're on their way to work, or justify harassing someone because they're on their cell phone, or any number of the things that we see in the news that details the outrageous behavior of police officers. However, there's no police officers that are passionately or vigorously going after bad police officers, which really points to the fact that there are no good police officers. Like, even the police officers that you would want to consider good, the guys who do pull cats out of trees, the guys who will pull over and help you push your car, or give you a jump, or help you get your keys out of the car, or that go to work with every intention of doing their job and doing their job well. It still is a fact that those police officers overlook and ignore the foulness going on in their precincts, in surrounding precincts, by their co-workers. And I speak as somebody who, in Los Angeles, played every sport in the LA Sheriff's Youth Athletic League. I grew up around police officers, hearing the rhetoric of police officers, having a direct insight to the mentality that goes with that uniform. So it is hard for me, and impossible for me even, to respect a police officer, or really almost any leg of the legal system that does not have a passion to be corrective towards erroneous officers. So, as far as I'm concerned, police in the United States need a complete reformation. There needs to be a cultural reformation and a procedural. And until that happens, I don't believe a good police officer will exist. And I've even posed the questions to police officers, one of which I did in his house, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm me. So I asked the police officer, how can you tell me such a passionate story about chasing down a woman in a carpool lane to give her a ticket when you know good well that there's people in your office and that are your co-workers, who are your partners, that are evil, that kill people, that beat up people, that take their frustrations out on people, that live out their frustrations from high school and undergrad on citizens who remind them of past scenarios and everything else under the sun and all the other millions of scenarios that play out. How can that be? How can we have children dying from maybe they stole a car? I'm old enough to remember when on sitcoms, all the way back to Leave It to Beaver, in this country, joyriding was a cultural phenomenon. Whereas kids would go out, steal a car, drive around, go do what they had to do. At the end of the night, they'd park the car somewhere. The police would find it, the car would get returned, or the kids would get caught. They'd get brought home to their parents, the car would get returned. Any damage would be repaired, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It was written into the fabric of American culture to the fact that it made it into TV culture. Now we live at a point and at a place in time where kids doing the exact same thing at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old are dying. Getting shot by police officers emptying their clips into children. You know, a kid stealing something from the liquor store and then talking shit as he crosses the street is not a green light to kill somebody. Whereas we still have some neighborhoods where grown men get into fights, guns and knives come out, police can come to the site and say, let's help Bill and Larry get home safely. We know they've got to be to work in the morning, and in those isolated scenarios, people, regardless of guns, violence, past histories, make it home. But there's blatant lack of balance when it comes to the inner city and certain demographics where one person goes home and doesn't get a ticket in one geographic area, but in another geographic area, the same thing will get 5 or 6 grown men to empty their clips into somebody. That is ridiculous. When everyone that is a police officer goes through training on how to deal with mentally ill people, how to deal with intoxicated people, people with violent histories, that's all a part of their training. However, those things become an excuse to justify killing and other ridiculous behaviors on a whim. And they treat the public as if the public is stupid, because the public largely is stupid, and the public largely does not think for itself. It chooses out of the options handed to it by the media. I've got to say that good police officers are a myth. If there were any good police officers, there would be a war and a movement being waged and carried out to put an end to bad police officers and to overhaul police culture, police procedures to actually come back to protecting and serving. One thing I think is notable is that once upon a time, rookie cops had to walk the beat of where they were working, and in some instances live where they worked and walked the beat there. That gave police officers an insight to the community, who the parents were, what types of people parents and children were, and to know the distinct nuances in each neighborhood of that demographic. Now a lot of police officers start off working in prisons and or end up getting put in a neighborhood miles away from where they live, to where they don't care about the community that they're policing, nor are they familiar with the community that they're policing. Thusly, they have little regard for the people there, the property there, and the resources there. And police become abusive and negligent, thoughtless, if not malicious. So again, in my opinion, good police officers are a myth. Once we get good police officers, there will be a movement internally against the current state of the police in this country. So until we have that, we don't have any good police officers.
Stepping back out of the water onto the beach, y'all. Vengeance is at your walls, ready to breach, y'all. It's too late, we strong and close enough to reach, y'all. Plagiarists of God's word, it's time for God to teach, y'all. This is just ain't hopeful and I am Sean Gold. These words will take your mind wherever you want go. Turn a crooked John Brown into a stiff John Doe. Go ahead and open up, cause we ain't knocking no more. Yeah, we used to hold way, stopped and got real gold. Kept choice on the track, that means it's knocking, young bro. You might think she on lock, the homies knocking that though. Only water the things that you want see grow, or one moves in silence and carry a big bad. I reflect the light of God, no need for chit chat. She loves the sunbathe till I tan her Kit Kat. The Mac can show her how to get out, get in and get that. Yo, break out, time for take out. Yeah, give yourself up and shake out. Yeah, draw yourself a door and make out. Raiders in the town, late show out. Yeah, no doubt, turn up and turn out. Heat 'em up till the spot's burnt out. Walk on that water.